Good morning, guys. Just working, bringing you a quick update on Bitcoin. Hoping you guys are having a wonderful afternoon, or I guess I should say it's morning. At least it is here on the east coast of the U.S. We're looking at Bitcoin to the U.S. dollar 4-hour chart on Coinbase, guys. And I apologize for no Bitcoin update yesterday, guys. There just wasn't a whole lot to say. Looking at it today, guys, it seems to be kind of forming into a wedge. Price is kind of a falling wedge pattern here, almost an ending, possible ending diagonal. You see that oftentimes in a C wave. I'm not saying that that is what's happening, guys, but as of right now, it is a possibility. We could count this, again, looking at this as 5 waves up. We could look at this as our ABC correction. So we'd be looking at A, B, down for the C wave. Now, whether or not this is the final wave and we are stacking, or we are impulsing up, that still has yet to be seen. In fact, I'm not convinced. It looks to me like there may be one more wave down to complete this pattern, if in fact this is going to complete this pattern, and if this is an accurate count of an ABC. But looking at it that way, we know that our C wave has 5 waves in it. We can count 5 easy waves. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now again, it looks to me like there may be one more wave down. If I kind of count my subwaves inside of here, guys, it looks to me like there is, let me just go from here to here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and one more wave down to complete that 5-wave pattern inside of there. I'm not saying that that is going to happen, guys. I'm just saying it looks like a possibility. We can see that price did end up coming down, came into this demand zone at 7400 to 7350, and that I've been telling you guys about, kind of broke through. It didn't quite create a double bottom. Remember, we were watching this double bottom here at 7200. That is a possibility. I still think that is a possibility, guys. Price came down, had a nice impulse, consolidated within this demand zone, and then price just recently broke up. If I look at my indicators, guys, excuse me, guys, we're on the 4-hour chart. We can see, looking at the RSI. RSI just broke. Let me get this more on there, guys. Right back on. There we go. RSI just broke this descending resistance line. It's just barely breaking out. That could just be a bull trap, guys. We're gonna have to wait and see how this plays out. However, I find something rather interesting. If I blow up the RSI, let me get rid of this. Blow up the RSI here just a little bit. We can see that we created, from this point to this point, a slightly higher high. And if I come up to this exact same point up here, we can see clearly, obviously I shouldn't even have to draw it out, clearly looking at the arrow, that was a lower high or a lower low, depending on how you want to look at it. So clearly this is divergence, guys. This is being a downtrend. This would be, and we're on the upside of the RSI, this would be known as hidden bearish divergence. So that kind of suggests that we may have one more leg down. If I zoom in here to the 1-hour chart, we're seeing the same thing. Once again, from this point to this point, we are seeing price, obviously, this is a lower point than this prior high here, clearly. However, if we look at the RSI at the exact same point, guys, what do we see? You can see the RSI created a higher point from this point to this point. Again, in a downtrend, looking at the upside, that is hidden bearish divergence. Once again, we see it also on the stock RSI, on the hourly stock RSI. We're seeing the same thing, created a higher high on the stock RSI in relation to price, where it created a lower high. Once again, bearish, hidden bearish divergence. That suggests that we do have one more leg down, guys. So this is very interesting, because if I come out here and look at the daily chart, guys, let me just kind of pull it out here. Excuse me, I'll get a drink of water real quick. Okay, guys, we just went ahead and saved some time. We're looking at the daily chart. We can see from this point to this point, clearly that was a higher high. Even though we've had a little bit of a drop, that's a higher high. Also, from this point to this point, that is an uptrend, correct? So if we look down at the same points on our histogram, on the MACD, on the histogram on the MACD, from this point to this point, obviously that created a lower high. From the stock RSI on the daily, from this point to this point, created a lower high, or a lower low, I should say, depending on how you want to look at it. So once again, we have divergence. Because this is an uptrend, we're looking at the downside of the histogram and the stock RSI. That is hidden bullish divergence. So that's telling us on the daily that this that we may end up seeing a bounce to the upside, possibly starting to bottom out, at least temporarily. So we're having conflicting information, guys, all over the place, and it's just extremely interesting to see how this is going to play out. It looks to me like we may have, just reading that, it looks to me like we may have price and may end up coming down for one more lower low. Possibly come down, create a double bottom here at 7,200, and then possibly impulse up. That would be ending this ending diagonal here. A little redundant there, but there you go. So this A, B, and C pattern, possibly one more lay down to complete the C wave, and then end up coming back up, which would be kind of impulse out of this ending diagonal, which you would expect. But the truth is, guys, in this market, literally almost anything could happen. And I know that sounds like a cop-out, guys, but the market makers are very real, and they can drive this price any direction that they want to go. So, well, right now my bias is one more leg down, looks like, and then possibly a rise up. I don't know how long that's going to last. However, it's kind of a no trade zone to me, in my opinion, guys. I'm getting mixed signals, and in my opinion, you just have to wait and see how for price to come to you. Wait and see how this ends up playing out. I'm not entering any trade positions at all at the moment. I'm going to wait and see price come to me. We can see, looking at our moving averages, the blue MA, or the blue 8-day EMA is, I should say, the 8-day EMA is represented in blue. We can see prices tried to break through it a couple times. It's barely just broken through by a wick. I would like to see price obviously get above that. I'd like to see a 4-hour candle open and close above that 8-day EMA to show me a possible bullish trend change, because right now we're just not seeing it, guys. It's still looking very, very bearish as price is below the 8-day EMA on the 4-hour chart. Looking at the daily chart, we can see that price has broken through the 8-day EMA. There in blue, it broke through the 21-day EMA, represented there in yellow, and it bounced off the 55-day EMA, represented there in pink. It wicked back up, guys. As long as this 55-day EMA can hold, that'll be a bullish sign. But again, guys, this entire trend has been very, very bearish. That said, looking at our candles here, as of today, and the day is not over, so this is just as of right now at this moment, this does look like a hammer, which is a bullish pattern, possibly the ending of this downtrend, which we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days of downtrending, guys. You would expect at some point we would have the bulls come back in, at least give us a day or two of of some kind of an uptrend, and this may be an indication of that trend, of that momentum change. But as of right now, guys, it's just not. We're just not seeing it. Not quite yet. We'll have to wait and see how this ends up playing out. Now, I would like to see if this uptrend is real. What we're going to need to see is to break above this prior high. Let me just kind of zoom in here. The prior high of this microstructure here. So break above, let's call it 7,700, somewhere thereabouts. Ideally, we'd get north of 7,800. If we get north of 7,800, that's going to be a very, very bullish sign. As of right now, though, guys, it's kind of looking rather weak. We came up, looks like a bull trap to me, where price may end up breaking right back down. If we pull our fib level from our swing low to swing high from this microstructure here, let's go swing low, excuse me, guys, not swing high, swing low, I should say. We look at our microstructure here, we can see price came up, bounced right off the 50 fib level, and is just kind of hanging out, sitting there right now. We need to get north of this of the 618 fib of this microstructure. So if we get north of, call it 7,600, really 7,550, somewhere thereabouts, guys, that's going to be a bullish indication. At that point, we'd come up, watch out for a double top and a crash right back down. But if we can get north of that 618 fib of this microstructure, that's going to show me that now I'm going to start. This is going to start to get my attention. But as of right now, guys, it looks to me like we may see a crash back down, possibly test 7,200 for a double bottom, and then come right back up. Again, I'm going to be playing, as I told you guys last time, a day before yesterday, I believe it was. I told you that I have my buy order stacked in here between 7250 and 7200. Very tight stop, sitting down here. Excuse me, guys, sitting down here at 7150. I do believe if we get a decisive break below 7200, it'd be a very quick drop to at least 79, possibly 7800. We know that that's the 618 fib level, guys, so all eyes are going to be on that level. That's also where the top of the neckline of this inverse head and shoulders was. That should act as a very, very good resistance, or excuse me, support. If price does end up getting that low. So I'm not saying it's going to, I'm just saying if it does break below 7,200 decisively, it'll probably be a very quick drop to those levels. So anyway, guys, these are my quick thoughts on Bitcoin. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, please let me know in the comments section below. Just being patient, waiting for price to come to us. And this is kind of a no trade zone for me. As I said, guys, I'll be waiting for price to come down here, 7,200, possibly play a very small position there, expecting a bounce, but have a very tight stop, knowing that it could just immediately collapse below and drop to 6,800. And again, to the upside, guys, I'm not going to looking at any positions until we get north of at least 7,700, possibly north of 7,800. At that point, I may play a very small position, but really, I'm not going to start getting excited until we start to enter into this zone at 8,300, guys. So these are my quick thoughts on Bitcoin. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, please let me know in the comments section below. And until next time, guys, please trade safe. This is Working, signing out.